Hey guys, what's up? Sermo11 here. Let me turn the volume down, actually. Today I will be doing a kind of reaction, kind of discussion to the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. I have already watched it, obviously, but I don't really do like live reactions or anything like that. I'll just be kind of like going through the Direct. I kind of did this before, so we'll see where this goes. This might be like a 2-day recording, but let's go ahead and get started. Probably should just have this playing. They have a new logo and everything, so that looks cool. It's kind of a long sequence, so I don't really think they need to do that, but continue to do that. But as far as like just for the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal event and everything, that's completely fine, but just kind of a lot. That was like 30 seconds, so yeah, clearly a lot. So the Direct starts off with Mario Kart World Tour, which was shown off earlier this year in January, and I have to say, this game looks very beautiful. It's a very pretty looking game, and I think that with the success of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Nintendo is kind of just like, yeah, Mario Kart, that is our front runner. Not Mario Kart. We will be putting all of our energy, all of our money into Mario Kart. Here you go. So they showed a lot for Mario Kart here. Apparently it's like an interconnected world, and you can drive around with your friends and everything, so I definitely think that could be fun. There's a lot of different racers, and then as you can see right now, they're kind of showing like the railing. They're showing Mario flipping from wall to wall. There's the cow. Let's go back to the cow. There's the cow that everyone was freaking out about. I believe this is the cow from Moo Moo Meadows. That's what I've seen online, so cow. It seems like the game, I've seen like screenshots, obviously, that people have taken from the event. Also, the mushroom's back. I don't know if I've ever played a Mario Kart with the mushroom. And then we see Toadette with the POW block, and we see Birdo going into the truck. We see Mario eating a burger or something, and they're changing costumes. I believe it's been stated that the costumes give them different stats and everything. So I always thought the costumes were something that should have been added earlier, because Mario Kart Tour has costumes. Why does the console version why does that not have costumes? It just didn't really make any sense to me. But let's just go ahead and go back to the Mario Kart World Tour, as I'm not finished talking. There was something I was talking about that I kind of moved on a little too fast there and forgot what I was talking about. But let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of different characters, and it seems like they're using the enemies as characters this time around, which is great. I think that's great, but I do think there's a lot of like maybe like Mario sort of main side cast that can also be used first before like just throwing in all the random enemies. Obviously we need Diddy Kong, we need Dixie Kong, we need the Miis. Hopefully they add the Miis from Miitopia, but I doubt that. Sorry, my voice sounds horrible. Let me get some water during the discussion. Very professional here, but I do have water right next to me, so it's not like I'm leaving. Okay. I just drank a bunch of water. So, here we go. Yeah, so characters like Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, the Miis, preferably the redesign from Miitopia. I don't know who else they could add. We have Pauline. They could add like Toadsworth, or who else do we have? Perhaps some of the characters from the RPG games. So the Mario and Luigi series, that has a lot of fun, unique characters. They could add Cappy. They could add Peach's crown or whatever that was, her hat from Super Mario Odyssey. They could add Paper Mario, so just a lot of different stuff like that. We're going to go ahead and move on. It's cool that Hammer Bros are in there. And we're going to go ahead and move on here. So Mario Kart World looks pretty good. I will say, like, the concern, which something that was not put in the direct, which seemed like an odd choice. I'm not like a marketing person or anything like that, but it just seemed like an odd choice. They did not put the prices of a lot of things, or I don't even, maybe not anything. They didn't put the prices in the event. So Mario Kart World Tour is going to be $80. I mean, I'm just speechless. Do you have $80? I don't have $80. And I also think that I think video game prices have just kind of gotten a little bit insane. I know, like, $70 games have kind of started to become the standard a little bit for some stuff. And Tears of the Kingdom was actually $70. I wasn't really going to pick up that game. I'm not really the biggest Zelda fan, especially of the huge open world ones. But I did pick up Zelda. It went on sale for $60, and you might see that at some stores for Mario Kart World Tour. You might see it drop to $70 or $60 depending on the store, and I'm sure it'll go on sale eventually in the future. Maybe for like $50. Because Nintendo Switch games already go on sale, like, first-party games go on sale for, like, $40. That's a sale to Nintendo, that's not a sale to me. I've never picked up one of their on-sale games for $40. It's usually, like, 24 to 30 is usually my range for, like, the games that I buy on sale. 30 is, like, if you really want it. 24 is, like, oh, I waited a long time. It's $24. Okay, I'll get it. So Mario Kart, you can drive anywhere, free roam mode. Not really. I don't know. It's something I want to try, but it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I would be playing this forever. And then, like, I like the idea of you, like, driving to the course. Maybe there's, like, a way, like, you race there or something like that. I like some of the ideas here. It's just kind of like, this is Mario Kart. And, I love Mario Kart. I used to play Mario Kart like every week, but I think as time has gone on, Mario Kart has really kind of just become like a multiplayer game, and that's kind of just all I do with it. So it's kind of like, if I have to play this with people, like if a game requires other people for me to play it, I don't really want to play it that much, you know? Sorry, kind of got into a country accent there, but yeah, I really don't want to play it that much if it requires other people, because that's the whole thing. You gotta be like, hey, are you free? You want to play Mario Kart or something like that? And it's, you know, it's a little much. So hopefully they add in some single player stuff. I've always thought about, like, hey, Mario Kart add a story mode, and I know people have joked about, like, oh, what if Bowser says, like, drive around my castle 3 times to defeat me? Okay. I think that's cool, actually. So I don't know, I like that. And I see this is in, like, French or something. Let me see if I can turn that off. Okay. And then they're doing a Mario Kart World Direct in about, what, 2 weeks? So, or 2 weeks, actually. Yeah. So they're doing, that's exactly 2 weeks from today. So they're doing that. That should be cool. I like that they seemingly have some of the younger developers showcased here. And I noticed they were talking about, like, the stats of the or like the benchmarkers, the stats of the console, and it kind of made me think, like, oh, this is something like a younger person would care about, not someone who's, like, older, like Shigeru Miyamoto or any of the other people at the company. You know, these guys seem like the younger ones who kind of, like, understand that a lot of people online care about, like, hey, this should have 4K graphics, this should have this and that. Now, moving on to the chat feature, which they added. They focused a lot on this. I know some people had pointed that out. I didn't really think they spent super long on it. I don't know. I might use this. It kind of looks like Discord, or kind of looks exactly like Discord. But, it's cool. It's cool to have it. I think Nintendo just kind of, like, stopped focusing on voice chat just because, like, people can be strange on there. People can be mean. They don't want to be liable if anything happens on there. But I think the thing is, like, Nintendo needs to understand, like, if something does happen within the game chat, they're not really liable, and then they have parental settings in there and everything. It's just kind of like, get on voice chat at your own discretion. And I'm sure, like, maybe voice chat is like with strangers, I don't know, but I'm sure the video chat is probably, friends only. So, just kind of like watch who you're speaking to. I think that should work. And I don't think they're going to shut this down like they did it with like Swap Note or anything like that. If you remember Swap Note, it was on 3DS. You could send like notes and stuff to people, but you could also send like photos and stuff to your friends. And I believe an incident happened and Swap Note was shut down. So, I don't think they're going to do that, considering they put a C button on the controller. There's a C button on the home menu. There's a C button on the GameCube controller. I think they're investing in this feature, and I think it would be dumb to shut this down just because an incident happened. Other consoles have voice chat, and, I don't know. I don't have other consoles, but, I imagine if an incident happens on their Xbox isn't, like, responsible, or PlayStation isn't responsible. Neither, and that's not something I've seen in the news either. So, just kind of putting that out there. This feature is cool. You can screen share your games and everything. As you can see in the footage right now, it's kind of lagging though. I usually don't care about like frames, lagging, anything like that. This is very obvious. I don't know why they would put this in a presentation. It makes it seem like they actually did use it, and this is like actual footage. Don't know what's going on there. Might have been a good situation to lie there, but I guess they're being as honest as pie. I don't know if that's a phrase, but yeah, there you go. Honest as pie. So we're going to skip through here. There's a camera. The camera's extra money. You have to plug it up to your system. Makes sense because the Switch is hidden by the dock, so there couldn't be like a webcam on this system. So there you go. Let's keep on moving through here. Yep, you need a membership. I don't think that's a big deal, but some people do. You can basically do download play. If you ever had a Nintendo DS, there were some games where you could play with a friend that didn't have the game, and essentially they could just like download, I don't know if it was the full game or something, to play the game with you. And then you can see here some of the games that you can game share, which is essentially download play. Makes sense to do Clubhouse games. I think that's the best one, honestly. I think that was the first game they showed. Captain Toad's a good one. I suppose Super Mario Odyssey is a good one. You're not really doing anything. I think you play as like, you collect coins or something. I don't know. Let's see. This is the part where they're kind of talking about some of the features of the system. The screen's better. It has 4K graphics on the TV. I don't really care about a lot of this stuff. It's just kind of like, oh, it looks better. Cool. That's what I would expect from a new video game system. It looks better. The system is bigger. I've seen some previews because people went to a preview event or something, and someone was saying like it feels like, or it looks like almost as big as a Steam Deck or bigger. So that's not good for me. I recently used a Steam Deck, or I held one, and they're pretty big. They are light, but they are pretty big systems. So, there's that. The Joy-Cons are magnetic. I think this is one of the first rumors that leaked for the system. So, basically, they don't want to get sued anymore. There's magnets. there is no way for or the sticks are better. The sticks are better. So the sticks are better. There's no way to break the Joy-Con on the system. I don't know how people did that in the first place. I don't know how you put on a Joy-Con backwards and you don't realize, like, oh, this doesn't feel right. But, you know, people are people. That's a nice way of saying it. But yeah, they have magnets, so there's that. And what was the other thing I had mentioned? That the Joy-Con drift, I believe they have a way of fixing that. And there's a mic on the system. I think there was one more thing on here that I wanted to... Oh, yeah, you can use them as mice controllers now, or mouse controllers. 3D audio, I don't really know what that is. Not into that. Better kickstand, that's cool. Yep. The storage, I've watched this event a few times, so I know some stuff. But, yeah, 256. I saw some people complaining about this. I think... it's like people on other systems and stuff like that. Because to me, that's enough space. But I know Nintendo's going to start to get like games that were on other systems. Those games can be huge. Who knows if they have a way of compressing those games or not. But I don't know. I'm fine with that. I currently have like a 500 gigabyte SD card. And I'm kind of reaching the max, but I think that's only because, like, Fortnite is getting bigger and bigger. I don't know if this is on Switch, but Fortnite was supposed to have a thing where you could download part of the game and you don't have to download the entire game, so I kind of want to do that. Overwatch is huge. I actually own Overwatch. Well, I guess it's always been digital, but I own, like, the box, and it would be cool if they had, like, a cartridge or something so it didn't take up much space. But Fortnite, Overwatch, I own the Naruto Storm trilogy, and I also own Storm 4. I wanted to get these physically, but none of them were on sale. So, very, 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 I think it's pretty expensive to get 4 physically. It might have dropped in price, but, you know, it's too late now. They're very cheap if you get them digitally, so... that was kind of the thing. I got, sorry, let me play this again. I got Ryza, Atelier? I don't know how you say that. I got that. I think that's also pretty big. So it's gotten to the point where I've had to like archive stuff. I didn't want to do that. I'm kind of the type of person, like, I want all the games on the system. I want them all there. They do have a way of like, so you don't like use up all your storage, you can archive stuff. So you archive it, then you download it when you need it. I don't want to do that. I'm hoping to get a 1 terabyte. So there was a cut in the video. I was hoping not to have to go through this, but there was a cut, and I just was talking about the SD cards and how I wanted to pick up a 1 terabyte SD card for my Nintendo Switch, and hopefully that's enough. I'm expecting games like Genshin Impact, Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero and Infinity Nikki to be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 at some point, and I'm sure those games will be huge. But yeah, you know, I kind of want to get ready for that, and I also want to pick up anything that's on sale. So if games go on sale for cheap, I'm going to pick them up, and that's why I got the Storm trilogy. That's why I got Naruto Ninja Storm 4. So hopefully with the 256 already on the system and the 1000 gigabyte, whenever that gets cheap, I'll get that, and hopefully that's enough storage for my Nintendo Switch 2 system whenever I get it. So they have this tour game that shows off features of the console. I think it costs $10. People don't like that. I can see why. I don't know why companies don't do pack-in games anymore, because this kind of seems like a 1-2 Switch thing, which also should have probably been a pack-in, especially since the second one flopped. I'm pretty sure it did pretty bad, so yeah. You have that. I talked about the SD cards. They accept only express cards now. That's for speed. Let's see. The Switch Pro controller, the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, has a headphone jack. I know a lot of people were asking for that because they want voice chat. And this was kind of surprising to me since they had already shown that there was a microphone on the Switch system itself. But I like that they're like, we know people want this. I like that they're doubling down on it. It's like, hey, you get 2 mics. You plug in your headphones, that's a mic. You also have a mic on the system. Because I was kind of wondering how that would work with the Switch being so far away and everything. But it's like, oh, the mic can just pick up the audio. I didn't really think about that. Because I know the other systems, I believe you have to plug it into your controller. So I thought that would be like the solution to the voice chat. I think they're talking about like the different types of games that you can use. Nintendo Switch 2 games, obviously. Compatible Nintendo Switch games. There's actually a list of Nintendo Switch games that don't work. A lot of them are older games. And like Fall Guys and stuff like that. But I'm sure a lot of that will be fixed. And then Nintendo Switch 2 edition games. I feel like Nintendo's kind of... It's like, I get it, but I feel like they're making this more than it is. So there will be select Nintendo Switch games that will be getting updates for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I imagine this makes it easier. Instead of releasing a new Mario Party, here's new games. You can use the camera now. You can use the microphone to play games. So that's awesome. I'm going to just kind of be, skipping through this. I don't play Mario Party. I will never buy Mario Party, but if someone else has it, I play it, but that's really about it. It's not really my my jam there. Let's see. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are getting an update. I don't really know this much. I don't know this much stuff about like frames or anything like that, but I believe these play at 4K graphics, 60 frames per second, so basically very smooth. And this is kind of funny. I noticed this. Someone else in the comments noticed this. If you've played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, this section in the game particularly is laggy. It's very laggy. And they showed this specifically in this trailer to show you that it is no longer laggy on the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's pretty cool and pretty funny. This is already a good looking game, so I'm sure it'll only look better. I don't have a 4K TV. I think, I'm not really a TV person in general. Like, people buy TVs like all the time. I've had the same TV for a long time, so HD is as good as it gets for me. 4K, I don't know if I've seen it or not, but maybe it's cool, maybe it's not. I don't know. There's also a new feature for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to help you find shrines and other stuff. For some reason, it's on the smartphone app. Someone kind of pointed that out. It's like, why isn't it on the game itself? And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. The QR code thing is fine for creations. I do wish they would have done this sooner. I don't know why this was held back for the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not going to go back to these games. These games are fairly long, but it would have been amazing to try out some of the creations that other people have made, especially with how big it was when Tears of the Kingdom first came out. So I feel like they kind of dropped the ball there, but it's cool if you're just getting the game. You can get it with better graphics. You can get like a help system. I might have gotten more shrines if I had like a help system. I'm not going to watch like a super long YouTube tutorial on how to find each shrine. I really don't care that much. I didn't do that many of the shrines. I did a few to get like hearts and everything, but I like games with a focus, with a goal. I don't like just being like, hey, do whatever you want. So, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This is actually my favorite Kirby game. I think my second favorite is Planet Robobot. I like both of those. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is getting an update for Nintendo Switch 2. They're adding more content. I believe this is $20. My only issue with this is how many worlds is it? Because like I'll pay for it, but I am very curious on how much they're adding. Is it like a whole new game? Is it like 3? Is it 4? Because it's a Kirby game, you can run through those pretty quickly. But I know Kirby had some issues, like in the background, it'd be kind of laggy. So hopefully they fix that. I'm not into Metroid Prime. Excuse me. One of my friends tried to get me into Metroid Prime. I liked what I played. I'm not really into like shooters because the motion kind of bothers me, but I liked what I played. I just don't know if I want to pick this up or not. I might try the first one. I know it goes on sale sometimes, so I might try the first one and just see how it is and see if I like it. Now, this is an interesting one for me. I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Pokemon Legends ZA is getting a performance patch for Nintendo Switch 2, or Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, or whatever. It looks good. It looks good. So, my major problem with the Pokemon games... Now, look at this. Look at this. I paused it. Let me, I want to get one with her eyes open. Let's see. Just 1 second. Okay, that's good enough. So, I don't know what's going on with Pokemon. I really want to do my Pokemon videos. I still haven't done them. I still want to talk about Scarlet and Violet. I want to talk about my feelings on the graphics and all that stuff. But I think for the modern Pokemon games, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Legends Arceus both look pretty good. I don't know why they have like different art styles for different games. Scarlet and Violet's art style does not look the best to me. I don't like how it looks in particular. But notice this kind of looked like Scarlet and Violet instead of Arceus in its first trailer. But looking at it now, it looks more like, Sword and Shield. It seems like, I don't know if Sword and Shield had like outlines or something, and Scarlet and Violet don't have outlines, but something seems off. And this looks a lot better. I don't know if I would get a Nintendo Switch 2 just for this. I had already planned on getting it for the original system. I don't care that much. If they were like, hey, Pokemon Generation 10 is coming this year, it's exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, which I'm sure they're not going to do because they're missing out on money. So the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is a good way to get people on both sides. I might have been more inclined to get it if there was a Pokemon game. I have no reason to get a Nintendo Switch 2, especially with the price of Mario Kart, which, left a bad taste in my mouth and left a bad taste in the mouths of other people. It's a problem. So, let's see, what do we have next here? This is the game with the, I believe these people are in like wheelchairs. There's a basketball. There's wheelchair basketball. There's a manga about wheelchair basketball, actually. So, I don't really have that many opinions on this game. It's cool for whoever wants to play it, and it also shows off the technology with the mouse. So, cool for people who want to play it. They show off Elden Ring. I'm probably going to skip through a lot of this stuff. I don't care about this. I've never played this. I'm not concerned with it. I don't like the designs of some of this stuff. It looks kind of gross, which is probably intentional, but Hades 2, I've played a little bit of Hades 1 on Xbox. I actually really liked it to the point where I bought it on Switch. You're probably like, what? You liked it on Xbox? Why'd you buy it on Switch? Prefer playing on Switch. I'm probably going to get this eventually, but I have I've played quite a few of these games at this point. These like roguelike games, and I'm kind of tired of it. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll see if I I'll probably pick it up. We'll just kind of see like if I beat like Hades or something. Some of these games just get kind of hard and get a little bit annoying. Street Fighter 6 is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. It'd be cool if Street Fighter 5 came as well, in my opinion, but I'm sure that doesn't really make much sense. This will probably be my first Street Fighter. I'm interested in it. I'm not going to get it at the price that it's going to be launching on Switch with, but I'm definitely interested in getting Street Fighter just to try it out. And I also like that they have a mode where you can walk around and everything. I always feel like fighting games need to be expanded, and I like that Capcom's expanding stuff, adding a story mode, It's more involved and everything, so looks cool. I'm not really good at fighting games. The one I'm the best at is probably Smash Brothers, so Amiibo are still alive, which is cool. I like that they're doing Amiibo cards as well. Probably saves money, so good on you. Hopefully those Amiibo are successful. I'm gonna skip through this. I don't care. Let's see what we got. Don't care. Split Fiction looks nice. I don't like stuff that requires me to play with other people, but I've heard amazing things about this game, and It Takes Two, so I'll give the developer their props there, but I don't want to play a game with other people, especially one that might take hours, might take multiple play sessions. I don't want to do that. Don't care. It's cool EA is supporting the Switch, but don't care. Hogwarts, I actually just bought this. It's on sale. So it'd be cool if they offered an update for this, hopefully. So I can play that on the Nintendo Switch 2. I've heard that Hogwarts Legacy has some issues on Switch in which it has like long loading times, and I believe the Nintendo Switch 2 version has less loading times or no loading times, like the other editions of the console. Don't care, but there's a SpongeBob thing here. Yeah. Where is it? I don't know who that is. Really, earlier you saw you can see the SpongeBob. Yeah, there it is. But yeah, you can see Bikini Bottom. You can see Squidward's house and all that, so that's cool. Don't care. Don't care. And I don't mean that in a rude way if someone's listening oh man, that's my favorite video game. I personally don't want to play it. I'm personally not interested. That's all I mean. Bravely Default, don't care. I played the demo, didn't like it. Yakuza 0. I want to get into the Yakuza series. I know 1 goes on sale for cheap because it's an old video game. They're not going to charge you a lot for that. And I've actually heard Yakuza 0 is the better starting point for the series. So I want to get this. I don't like that. I think it's just coming to Switch 2. I don't like that. Okay, so I am back. Who knows where I left off at? This was recorded over a 2-day period, so let's just get back into it. I am going to skip back a little bit. I'm on the Koei Tecmo logo right now. I'm going to skip back a little bit just to see what... Yeah, so Yakuza 0 is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Definitely interested in the Yakuza series. I think I want to get I either own the first one or I want to get the first one, and I believe I had mentioned that Zero is the one that I've heard to start with for whatever reason. I think it's a prequel and it came out later, but it's necessary for the story because they did a remake of the first game, and yeah, yada yada. I'm hoping they release these faster, but they don't have to rush. I just know that I believe there's 7 Yakuza games, and then there's a bunch of spin-offs and stuff, and then there's I don't know if you even call it a prequel, but a prequel before the prequel. There's one where they're samurais or something. So I think there's 2 of those. There's Judgment, which is kind of like a Phoenix Wright kind of fighter sort of game, and then they just did a pirate one. So I know I think they did 2 Yakuza games last year or something like that. I don't know. They're releasing a lot, so I'll check them out eventually. And hopefully they come to Switch at a faster rate. The video kind of went back, but Koei Tecmo, they're showing off a new Warriors game. I haven't played the Warriors games. The only one I've played a little bit of is the Fate Samurai one. There was a demo that came out, and I was like, I've seen Fate Stay Night, I've seen Fate Zero. Those are the only ones I've seen, but I like the Fate series enough, and I want to check out a game. I think making a game about it is pretty cool, and I played it. I played the demo at least, and I really enjoyed it. So it's like playing an anime. So that was really fun. I like that they're doing like a twist on different things, and like all I've heard, like these are not all the same. Like there's a bunch of different Warriors games and everything like that, and they're not all the same. So we have our third Zelda Warriors game here. This one's taking place before Tears of the Kingdom. If you played Tears of the Kingdom, part of this is in the game, kind of, but they're putting actual gameplay to this part in the story. And I've heard that these games have a lot more story than like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which isn't really hard to do because those games barely have a story. Haven't really talked about my thoughts on those games, but you get a little hint right there. They barely have a story, so just getting more lore and everything is good. I own Age of Calamity because it was on sale. I think like a year or two ago, it was on sale by mistake plus the DLC. It was an accident that it went on sale, but it was a very cheap digital copy. I'm just skipping back to just kind of go through this again, but very cheap digital copy. So I got that, and I've been told by a big Zelda fan that the original Hyrule Warriors is the better game. Has more characters and stuff like that. Characters from throughout the series, and you know, the roster of games like Age of Calamity, and I'm guessing Age of Imprisonment won't be that large. You know, it'll have the characters probably from the first game somehow, if they're going to do that. I think, yeah, probably from the first game, and probably some of the characters from like flashbacks or anything like that somehow, some way. But I guess in the case of Age of Imprisonment, the characters would have to be from the future somehow. So who knows how they're going to do that, but I'm sure it'll work out some way, somehow. It looks cool. It's another Zelda title where it looks like Zelda is the main character, which is something people have been asking for years, so that's cool. You get to play as Rauru, which is awesome. I'd love to see more of what Rauru can do. I imagine Sonya will be playable. I imagine Ganondorf will be playable, which will be awesome. This version of Ganondorf is really cool, and I wish there was more of the character in the game, but you know, we got what we got, and hopefully this is better than the regular game, like some people have said, at least like story-wise. Might be better gameplay-wise, I don't know. I'm not super into like open-world games, so, you know, I had my fun with Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. I actually thought Tears of the Kingdom was too long. Like, I had gotten to a point where it's like, yeah, I need to beat this game. I'm not really feeling this, you know. This is just like too big. So, moving on to the Nintendo Switch Online, they're kind of talking about the online can be used on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is obvious. You know, they're not going to change the online system, especially with how well the Nintendo Switch did. They're just going to do a follow-up and kind of add on more stuff to it. Now, they're adding GameCube games. You can see the GameCube intro screen on the screen right now. And I never had a GameCube. It looks like a cool system. I've never had a GameCube, though, so I don't really know that much about it. I did look up GameCube games before the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct to just see, like, hey, if GameCube games are coming, plus there was a rumor that they were coming, but if GameCube games are coming, you know, which games would I want to play? So they're adding Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, which to me is the most interesting looking Zelda. I like the art style, but it's not, I don't care that much about this, but some people have mentioned, like, oh, it's not the HD version, obviously, because it's the GameCube one, and they were hoping that the one on the Wii U would come on Switch. I don't know if that's going to happen now, but, you know, that's life, I guess. So, I don't know. It's a good-looking Zelda game. I already own it on Wii U, so I don't care about this. I don't really care about a lot of these games, actually. The ones that they showed off, at least, I don't care about. So, this is interesting. I'm going to pause here. Once I get back to it, just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is interesting to me. These titles, a few of these are more of my speed, and I might have missed one of these when I was kind of scrolling through the list. There's a lot of GameCube games, you know. I'm not going to go like completely one by one. You know, I was just looking for names that would catch my attention, and they have Fire Emblem. You can see me moving my mouse on it. So they have Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. So I don't know if they'll ever do like a remake or something like this, but I am a fan of Fire Emblem, probably a modern fan. If people make the distinction, it's like, oh, were you a fan before Awakening or after Awakening? I was a fan after Awakening. So I've played Awakening, I've played Fates. I need to play Echoes, I need to play Three Houses, and I need to play what was the newest one? Engage. They're pretty consistent with the Fire Emblem games. It's just kind of like there's a lot of video games to play, and it's like I want to do other stuff. I want to watch anime. Sometimes I want to read manga. There's a lot of stuff going on. So Fire Emblem obviously is interesting to me. I've heard this one has like a flip or a switch. Like they made the hardest mode the easy mode or something in the American release, and I apologize if you can hear the car outside. So I don't know about that, but I would love to check that out if it's not going to get like a remake or something like that. And I don't think they need to remake every Fire Emblem game, especially with how slow they're going, because they remade the first and second one, right? Or the first one at least. They haven't re-released that, so I have to find a way to get that, and I think it's expensive now, so might never get that. And then they remade I don't know if that's the second one or the third one, the one they remade on 3DS, and we didn't get a remake on Switch, so I don't know what's going on. But people have been asking for, I believe, the fourth Fire Emblem game, so they're just going really slow. It might be time to be like, hey, if Ike has 2 games, I think Ike has 2 games. One might be on Wii, but like if Ike has 2 games, let's just remake those together. If Marth has 2 games, let's just remake those together. If Roy and his father have each have their own game, let's just put those in one game. Let's try to go a little bit faster with these remakes. So that's just my opinion, but I know Fire Emblem Engage wasn't received super well. Like people really like Three Houses. It's like this is the future of Fire Emblem, so who knows how that's gonna go. But I mean, yeah, that's I guess that's just how things are going. Super Mario Sunshine, I don't have the collection. I played a little bit of this. I used a friend's copy. I think it's an okay game. I would prefer it without the FLUDD, and that might sound crazy to people, but like I thought it was a fine game for a little bit. I didn't like how the FLUDD controlled, and I didn't like using the FLUDD for everything, so that was my problem with that game. I'm gonna start playing this again. So Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness and Pokemon Coliseum, which you can see right here on the right side. I've never played these games. I'm a big Pokemon fan. I think I've been doing reviews of the Pokemon games for a while. I'm not sure if there's an X and Y review. I know there's a there might be, but I know there's a Sun and Moon review. There's a Sword and Shield review. There's an Arceus review. There's a Scarlet and Violet review at some point on the channel will be coming. But big Pokemon fan. I think I reviewed some of the Ranger series. I might have reviewed one of the Mystery Dungeon games. Big Pokemon fan. I usually pick up most of the Pokemon games, or at least try them. Never played these two, and I would like to play them. A friend recommended them to me. She even offered to let me borrow her copy of the game. I don't tend to borrow stuff from people. I don't want to break people's stuff. I don't think I'm going to break it, but it's just kind of like accidents happen. This game's expensive. If I break your copy, I don't want to pay like $100 to get you a new one. So there's a lot going on there, but I heard these games are good. They're different. They have like different mechanics and stuff like that. And really, I want to talk about like my feelings on the Pokemon franchise and like how they kind of have like untapped potential. Like think about something like Pokemon Coliseum and XD. I feel like these games could really be like their own sub-series. That's how I feel. So that's just my opinion on that. But I'm excited to try these games, and I definitely want to get the online expansion for that, and I get access to like Animal Crossing and I think like DLC for some of the other games and stuff like that. So that would be cool to try for maybe like a month or two, and I'd probably get rid of it. I don't care about the rest. So like getting like DLC, I don't care about that. I'll just buy the DLC if I want it. But for stuff like Animal Crossing, I don't want the DLC, but I'm down to try it. I know it's just like decorating like houses and stuff like that, so that's not something I'm super interested in, but if I get it for like as included with the price, I'm definitely down to try it. The Pokemon games are definitely the biggest thing I want from the service, and that's based on the GameCube games I looked at, those are the only two that I'm really interested in. It would be cool if they brought DS games. I don't know if DS is too modern, or they need a way to put it on Switch. But you know, there were rumors of like, oh, you can connect a Switch tablet to the Nintendo Switch 2 or something, and now it's a DS. I think that's a little bit silly, because like, why would you do that? It's very like flimsy, and you know, I think if they had something like that, they'd want it to be like more like, oh, these are like actually connected. You can't just like take them apart easily. But who knows? I'm just a person on the internet. Deltarune. I haven't played Deltarune. I was waiting for the whole game to come out. I do own the first 2 chapters, but the first 2 chapters are free, so I got you there. But this looks really good. Looks like an upgrade from Undertale. The graphics look good, really nice, and I like the whole like Deltarune is waiting. The music is fantastic as always. If you played Undertale, you know the music is really good. So I think there's 5 chapters, so I want to try that, and I'm looking forward to that. Borderlands 4. I have no interest in this, but I know this was this is a big series. I think it's great that the Nintendo Switch 2 is starting to get like these bigger games and stuff like that. I believe we already talked about Elden Ring coming to the Switch and everything, so that's awesome. I like that Borderlands 1 through 3 came to Switch. I like seeing these games on Switch. I'm not necessarily interested in them. The games that are on other systems that I'm more so interested in are like RPGs, so like Tales of, Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, a lot of Square Enix stuff. Spider-Man, if that ever comes. It'd be cool to try Halo, but I'm not really into shooters like that, but it'd be cool to try Halo just because it's there. So just kind of stuff like that. But I'm not really into most of this stuff. Civilization, I would never play this, but I think it's cool that it has like mouse controls. And an interesting thing about the mouse controls, and I was talking to my friend about this today, it's cool that we could see like maybe more PC games. So maybe some games on Steam and stuff coming to Switch with mouse controls. It's just kind of like, I don't know how well that doesn't look very comfortable to me, like holding the Switch like that, but I know that there are mice that are like shaped like that but bigger, and people use that so their hands don't get messed up, I guess, or it's like more comfortable. So yeah, I'm gonna start skipping through this. I don't care about a lot of this stuff. Please bear with me, because I'm going through this as as this is playing and everything. This doesn't look interesting to me, but I know this game, I think it used to be like 2D. I'm not sure why games go from 2D to 3D. I guess it looks like prettier, kind of, but like there's also like a charm with like 2D graphics that looks better. So I don't know. I can't say this looks bad because it doesn't look bad, but it's like, you know, sometimes 2D just looks better. But maybe 3D is easier to do. You can reuse the models and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, you can do that with sprites too. So don't care about any of this. Yada yada. Not in like a mean way, of course, just like not interested. Cyberpunk, I think it's cool that Cyberpunk is coming to Switch. Again, something I'm not interested in. I did watch the anime. The anime was okay, kind of rushed though. And it's like, yeah, maybe that was the story they wanted to tell, but it's just kind of like pacing kind of like got really fast. I think something like this could have been like 20 episodes. Like if they really wanted to go super fast, like 20 or like 25, 24. I think that would have been better to like flesh out the characters and spend more time with them, but it's a very quick show. I think it's 10 episodes, right? Yeah. So now Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. This is really interesting. I think they've pretty much hinted that more is coming, so I imagine part 2 is coming next year. I don't know when part 3 is coming out, but maybe they would want to launch that on Switch. It's just kind of like that would be like a lot of games in a short time period. Let's say like, so 1's coming out this year, let's say 2 comes out like early next year, and I don't know if part 3 is coming out next year, but that would be a lot to put out, but who cares? I'm definitely looking forward to this. I have not played the original Final Fantasy VII, but I've heard you should play that and play this because this is kind of like a, I don't think this is a spoiler, but like this is like a remake but different. So like it's almost like, you know, like they're switching up things in the story in a substantial way. But I definitely want to try this out. I think this looks beautiful. So this looks great. I'm not really super into RPGs. I think this is like turn-based. I like more of the action RPGs, but I think this is like a mix of action and turn-based, which is cool. So I'm definitely excited to try that, and then they're just kind of like doing a sizzle reel, going through like everything they've shown off already. I saw a lot of people... I just want to highlight this. This game, I've played a little bit of Hollow Knight. I had access to a friend's copy. I played a little bit of it. I wasn't into it. I'm kind of getting tired of like, oh, our game's difficult. Oh, I don't know if this has a map or not, but excuse me if it does have a map. But like, oh, our game doesn't have a map. Oh, you can't get through the game, you die. Well, you start over from the beginning. You know, things like that. I mentioned earlier when Hades 2 came up. I'm just kind of tired of like the roguelike. I'm kind of tired of like platformers. I feel like there's a lot of games like that. But I noticed that a lot of people were like, oh, this isn't in... Why wasn't this in with the other games? You know, like, why wasn't this up here at the front? So I don't know how big Hollow Knight is, but I've heard, what is it, for like a year or two, people just being like, where is Silksong? You know, this is supposed to come out, where's the game at? I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if this is a big deal or not, but people are definitely making it out to be a big deal. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I watched 2 videos, and I'm sure other people feel that way. But I watched two other videos, and they're like, Silksong's in the sizzle reel, and it didn't even get like a big like showcase. What's going on? That's crazy. So I don't know. I don't think there was anything in here I really cared about, or if I do care about it, I'm just gonna get it on the Switch. Let me see if we missed anything. Oh yeah, we did. That's what happens when they show these for like 2 seconds. Okay, let me go back. So I'm not gonna play this, but I thought this looked a little interesting. I feel like there's a lot going on. I wish it was like zoomed in and maybe it was like less. I don't know. There's just like a lot around. A lot of like. Because I think in Witchbrook in the direct from last week, they had shown that like the town or something, and it's just like, I wish it was like more zoomed in. I don't know if that's a weird opinion, but it's just like a lot of people and stuff on screen. It looks great though, but it's not really something I would play. I think it's by the people that did Eastward. I played the trial for that. That's a lot of talking in that game, and I'm one for story and cutscenes and all that, but I'm also kind of like, please just let me play the game. Just let me play the game for a little bit, please. So, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, or what is this, 2S? I don't really have like a huge opinion on this, but I just thought it was interesting because this is one of the games that came out around or on the Switch, Nintendo Switch 1 or Nintendo Switch's launch, and I remember my friend had a Switch before me and we were playing this and stuff like that, so that was cool. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. I actually recently picked up Rune Factory 3 and 5, I think. I had 4. I don't think I would be super into Rune Factory, but I've heard, like, you know, there is like action and stuff on top of like the life stuff. I prefer like action or like an RPG sort of gameplay, and this looks really cool. If you've seen like gameplay for this, I watched the showcase for this that they did on their channel. This game looks really good. There's a lot of voice work that went into this game. There's a lot of voice acting. Looks good. Kind of almost looks like a Genshin Impact sort of thing or something like that. So very pretty game. I definitely want to check it out, but I'm going to check it out on Switch 1. I don't think I'm going to get a Nintendo Switch 2 right now. Star Wars Outlaws, again, not something I want to play, but it's cool that the third-party support is there. I'm sure we'll see like Assassin's Creed Shadows or something. What's another big game? I don't know, but like Cyberpunk and Elden Ring, like those are big games, and I think it's cool that, you know, Nintendo is starting to get like games other companies are getting. Hopefully, like the way that the Nintendo Switch 2 has been done, we will be getting like things like just the same day as other consoles. Like if there's a Persona 6, hopefully we see that on Switch. Metaphor would be like a good one to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. Marvel Rivals, you know, stuff like that. It'd just be cool. Shadow Labyrinth, this is cool. I'm not gonna get this, but like it's a twist on Pac-Man, and like I like that there was a mech. There's the mech. That's crazy. Raito, I actually haven't played. Have I played any Atlas games? Was Draglad Atlas? I can't. I don't think I can switch the screen right now because I have it on this video. I don't know. I'm new to like using recording my screen, but I don't know if Draglad was Atlas. I played that. I own Persona 5 and I own Persona 4. I need to play one of those. But this looked interesting. I like that it's action and not a turn-based RPG, but I've also heard that Atlas games are hard. No Sleep for Kamine Date from AI, the Somnio Files. That's a weird name. It's a mouthful. I own the first AI, the Somnium Files, and actually the second game is on sale right now. I played the demo for it. I really liked it. Kind of reminds me of Phoenix Wright and Zero Escape. Zero Escape is by the same person, so obviously. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, by the way, that Marvel game looked... I like the graphics for it. The beat 'em up, but I wouldn't play that. I don't really like beat 'em ups. I think the only one that I've liked... it's not a genre I like, but I think the only one that I was really interested in was River City Girls. Like the anime aesthetic and everything. Nintendo had a trial for it, and I was playing a lot of that. I thought I was going to beat the game, but I ran out of time, but I really enjoyed that, and I really want to pick that up and finish the game. Fortnite, I play a lot of Fortnite, so it would be cool to see it on Switch. My friends have told me that Fortnite doesn't look that good on Switch, and it looks a lot better on like Xbox and PlayStation, so I'm definitely excited to see Fortnite look better on Nintendo Switch 2. Sorry, I keep stopping it, but I think that's really about it. Professor Layton, I'm not really into Professor Layton, but I want level 5 to succeed. I keep talking about it, but level 5 puts too much work into their video games. They put too much work into their video games. The company shut down. They're still putting too much work into their video games. In Inazuma 11, they have like the anime cutscenes by Mappa. The game looks really good. There's so many characters. They're putting in all the characters from the DS and 3DS games. I think there's like 4,000 characters or something crazy like that. Is it 4,000? It's something like absurd. Maybe like 400. 400 sounds better. But you know, like you think about a soccer team. A soccer team's a bunch of characters, so that like builds up after a while. I don't know why they're doing that. Let me see what else. I played LBX. That had a lot of content in it, but it got really hard after I beat it, so I stopped playing it. But I enjoyed what I played. I watched some of the anime when it was airing on TV. I watched that season of Inazuma 11, the only one they brought on American TV. I watched that, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that Level 5 does. Yokai Watch, they were going hard with Yokai Watch, multiple versions. They're like, we're Pokemon now. And then Yokai Watch, people think it got oversaturated, and then it kind of like died. And it's still going, I think, kind of, but not really. I know they like did a remake of the anime, and they did like a series where Nate was older or something. I don't know, but big fan of Yokai Watch. I need to play more of the games. I've played Yokai Watch 1. I've played part of Yokai Watch Blasters, but I think you're supposed to play 2 before Blasters. And then I noticed that Usapion is in the game, which probably means I should play Yokai Watch 3 before Blasters. I know there's a Blasters 2, but that didn't come out. They were really trying hard with Yokai Watch. There was Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble for phones, and that got shut down, I think, at least in America. So, yeah. So this is From Software. They did Elden Ring, I think. I don't really care about this, but I saw some people getting excited about this. Apparently this is big. Nintendo's getting like an exclusive game. I don't know if it's exclusive forever or if it's just like a timed exclusive, but they're getting their own like exclusive like Elden Ring sort of game. Those games are difficult or whatever. Again, I'm not interested in it, so I'm probably gonna skip through this. But you know, good for whoever cares, whoever is interested. Let's see. This might be... Oh, yeah, we're nearing the end. I've actually watched this event a lot. I've been watching people's reactions. I'm trying not to watch too many because this is like an hour long, so I'm kind of skipping through some of these, some people's reactions, but I have watched a few. Some of the gaming channels that I like, and some of the channels that I might not like, but, I've watched some of their content, and I'll watch a reaction at least. I probably won't watch, some of the other stuff. I think at this point there's 2 games left. when I was watching this Kirby trailer, it looks really good, and like it's in the dark. You see this star falling. You're like, is this Smash Brothers? And I'm not one of those people who's like, yeah, Smash Bros is coming immediately, because I don't think that, because Ultimate just stopped getting DLC like 2 years ago or something. I don't know. People think like Smash Bros is coming like immediately. I think it's coming a few years into the Switch. But this trailer looks really good, so you think like, oh, it's Smash Brothers, but it's not. And it's like, well, Smash Brothers isn't coming immediately, so it's got to be like a Kirby game. And it turns out it's Kirby Air Ride. I know a lot of people love this game. Never played it. Again, on GameCube. I don't have a GameCube. There was no gameplay shown of this. I mean, this cutscene looks beautiful. And I'm not one of those people like, wow, they just showed off a cutscene. Like, show the gameplay. I'm just kind of like, as someone who hasn't played Kirby Air Ride, I don't know what to expect about this. I know like some stuff from Kirby Air Ride has made it into Smash Brothers, like what is it, like Smash Run or something, one of those features was similar to Kirby Air Ride. So I don't know, but Sakurai like reuses some stuff, I guess. But I'm definitely interested in seeing the game, seeing what it looks like. Again, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, there's 2 racing games, because like people, I don't know, some people highlight stuff like that. I remember when they had a direct with a bunch of like farming games, and people were like, oh, there's like 3 or 4 farming games. What's going on? It's like, why does it matter? Why does it matter? Or people will be like, oh, there's so many RPGs. Why does it matter? What do you want to see instead? Like, I have yet to get an answer to that question. What do you want to see instead? You want to see Mario? If they showed off like 2 or 3 Mario games, you wouldn't be complaining. So, oh, but Mario's by Nintendo. Does that make a difference? It's just kind of like, it's a weird mindset. But it's cool that Sakurai is coming back. Masahiro Sakurai is coming back to work on Kirby Air Ride. As you know, he doesn't work at HAL Laboratory anymore, but he is the original creator of Kirby, and I imagine he can come back whenever he wants to, so that's awesome. Definitely want to see some gameplay of this game first, and I believe this is their last game. I'm hoping you've already seen this, because this is not like a proper reaction. I have seen this event multiple times already. I saw the minecart, and I was like, because at first you think like, oh, they're going to do a 3D Mario, right? And then I saw the minecart, and I'm like, might be Donkey Kong. And then like, further looking at this, you see the barrel. I didn't see the barrel on my first watch. I'm not like super heavily looking into this, but you see monkeys as well. I saw the monkeys, and I saw the minecart. I was like, oh, this is Donkey Kong. They're doing a 3D Donkey Kong game, and people have been wanting this for a while. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about this. So, the design of Donkey Kong, I don't like the design, and I will continue to say that. It looks like they tried to go back to the original. They're like, oh, we hate the Rare redesign. We're going to go back to the original. What Miyamoto made. And I don't like games with too much freedom, whether that be like open world or like this, where you're just like destroying everything. And I've watched a preview since, and like there is a limit. Like there's a metal wall that you will eventually hit and everything, but it seems like you can destroy like everything or almost everything. And from the game, they showed like they did some gameplay of the Nintendo Treehouse. I didn't watch the whole thing, so like there's your context. If I am wrong on this, but I didn't see a lot of gameplay of him like fighting enemies, and that was more so what I was interested in. Like I really liked Super Mario Odyssey, and I think earlier in this I talked about the 3D Marios that I have played. I played Odyssey. I played a little bit of Galaxy. I like that, and those are the only 2 I was really interested in. I gave my thoughts on Sunshine, and I didn't really like Super Mario 64. I didn't complete that. I didn't like the gameplay, and I didn't like the controls. I think it was more so the controls, and it looks really old. I think they should remake that. But I'm not really into these 2D sections. It's not like an immediate problem, but I've heard Donkey Kong is difficult, and that's why I never picked up the games on Wii or what was it, Wii U and Switch. I never picked up those. And yeah, so I just keep going back to these enemies. Like, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of, like, fighting enemies and less, like, destroying environments. I want to see more, like, platforming and stuff like that. And I feel like they showed off, like, the destruction aspect of the game, but I want to see more of the platforming. I want to see more of the action. That's really what I'm interested in, because I want... If it's like Odyssey, I'll play it. If it's not like Odyssey, I'm not really interested. If the 2D sections are difficult, I'm not interested. So he has a rock companion, and then like you can see like here, the rock, it's a rock, so it's heavy, and you see like, imagine if a rock was like a person or something. The rock's jumping on him, and it's like heavy, so it hurts, you know, because it's a rock, and it's pointy and sharp and all that. So I don't know if I really like played a Donkey Kong game like that outside of like a demo or something like that. So this could be my first Donkey Kong game. I think I need to play it myself, and that'll really make a difference in whether I want it or not. I wish Nintendo did more demos, but my personal theory on why they don't do demos is because people will just play the demo endlessly, and that's why you have like those limited number of tries on like the 3DS and everything, or perhaps they're afraid people will data mine it. Like if you notice, there was one Pokemon demo since Sun and Moon. I think there was Let's Go had a demo, but that's like an old game because who cares? But Let's Go got data mined, or Sun and Moon got data mined from the demo, and I think people found like the whole Pokédex, and they found all that stuff in there. So that's why there's no Pokemon demos. But also, a demo is like a separate thing. I've heard you have to make a demo on your like separate from the game, so you can make it where there's not a Pokédex in there. And I know people have highlighted that, like, you know, Game Freak, you can make a Pokemon game where future Pokemon are not in the data, and I think they started doing that. So I don't know, but yeah, I am interested in Donkey Kong if I can play it first. Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out on June 5th. That's in 2 months, basically. So that's actually exactly 2 months from the day I'm recording this, the second day I'm recording this. So that's cool. They have this bundle right here. If I were to pick up this system, which I'm probably not, they have a bundle right here where you can get Mario Kart World digitally. I'm not really into digital games, but it's cheaper. It's not $80. They didn't put any prices in this presentation, and people thought that was a little shady. So Mario Kart World is $80. And I think the Nintendo Switch 2 is $449 or $450. So it's a lot of money if you're going to get a controller or a camera and all that as well. It's a lot of money. It's going to be like hundreds of dollars, and I don't have the money for that. I'm sure some people do, so I don't know. Okay, I had to make a cut there. I had to step away, but basically the Nintendo Switch will be very expensive if you end up getting Mario Kart, the Switch, I guess other games, the controller and stuff like that. I guess if you're like a famous popular YouTuber, you know, someone who's using this for content creation, it doesn't really matter because they'll make the money back, but the Switch is definitely expensive, and I definitely think it's a topic that needs to be discussed. Again, like, this is after the fact of the Direct, so like there are certain things that could be discussed, like the chat on Nintendo's Treehouse videos. People were saying drop the price. If you look at some of Nintendo's videos, you'll notice that they got dislikes. So yeah, little shady, something going on there. I know people have mentioned like the tariff situation. That might be why some stuff could be expensive, and Nintendo has also delayed pre-orders because let's just say stuff is going on in America. Not going to get into that on here because people are crazy. You know, you say one thing, people just kind of lose it. But yeah, there's some stuff going on that, you know, might not be that helpful to Nintendo. So overall, I thought it was a good Direct. Let me just go back to the beginning here. Let's see here. Overall, I thought it was a good Direct. They showed off a lot of different stuff. I had a list of the stuff that I was interested in. Let me see if I can pull that up because I have my phone next to me. So let me see. Just kind of like a recap, and we'll get out of here. But let's see. Just pulling up the list. So obviously Mario Kart. I like all the characters being added. I like, you know, the like Fortnite almost mode where people are getting eliminated and stuff like that. So that's cool. Very expensive though. I probably won't be picking it up unless it's on sale. Or unless there's like a way around that, like the digital bundle. That would be cool to get, but this is just like a lot of money, and I also don't need this system currently. I have a lot of stuff to play on Switch 1, and it's like, yeah, you can get a Switch 2 and just, you know, just continue to play on there, but there's not really a reason to do that. You know, you need a reason to just go out and spend like $500 or obtain $500 and then, you know, spend it, in my case. So, game chat looks cool. I think people might misuse it, but, you know, I think Nintendo is kind of like, you know, just let people if stuff happens, obviously ban that person, but also it's kind of like, this probably happens on other services, and like, my friend brought this up today because we just discussed the direct, but like, she was saying that, like, other systems have like voice chat and all this stuff, and you don't hear about any like incidents and stuff like that. I'm sure stuff happens, but ban the person. That's it. I don't know. Nintendo seems to take things hard, and like, I don't know. They don't want any like bad PR at all. Kirby and the Forgotten Land getting an upgrade. That's great. I want to play that. I think Legend ZA getting an upgrade, or a Nintendo Switch 2 edition is cool. I'm not going to get that. I want to get the original game. I don't care that much, so yeah. Hades 2 I'm interested in. Street Fighter 6 I'm kind of interested in that. Yakuza 0 I'm interested in that. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment I'm interested in that, and hopefully they're able to improve the frames. I don't care about frames. Look, improve how the game works. The original one, the second one, the Age Calamity, because that one runs a little strangely. So we don't mention frames here. I don't care about that. GameCube I'm interested in the 2 Pokemon games. That's probably about it. And Fire Emblem. So yeah. Deltarune looks good. I like the music, and I want to play that since I've played Undertale. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm sure Square Enix will be bringing everything over to the Switch in a short period of time, and they'll be like, why didn't this sell well? We put out 35 games or 36 games on the Switch in 1 year. What's going on? That did happen. They put out like a bunch of games in 1 year, and like some of them didn't do great. I don't know what happened, but there was like Voice of Cards, and then there was like another one where you like live your life or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of different stuff. But go look that up. That did happen. Kirby Air Ride could be interesting, but I've never played Kirby Air Ride, but I would like to try Kirby Air Riders. Donkey Kong, as I mentioned, I want to try the demo, and I do think this event could have used like maybe one more Nintendo first party title. I know some people were like, why are there so many third party games? I don't think that really matters. Some people have like this weird like, I only play Nintendo for Nintendo games. I don't play any third party games. I play them on my PlayStation. I play them on my Xbox. I play them on my PC. Well, some people play Nintendo for Nintendo and also third party. I don't know. That's just the thing. There are other video games out there. I think maybe like a Mario. I think a 3D Mario game would be cool, but like I don't want it to overshadow Donkey Kong. I think it would be cool if they let like some of the characters that haven't gotten games in a while like shine for a little bit. Like let's get like a Captain Falcon like fighting game or something like that, or a racing game, or Kid Icarus Uprising 2, something like that. I don't know if they have some other characters, but I don't know. A new Yoshi game or something like that. A Daisy game, Daisy's on the screen. Give Rosalina her own series, or put her in that series with Peach, A new Peach game, another one, Just kind of like different stuff. It's cool to mix it up. But I'm not sure. I mean, they did announce a new Zelda game. It was a Warriors game, but I think that's still good enough. I think a smaller Zelda experience would have been cool, where it's not like open world and stuff like that. Just kind of like a newer Zelda game would have been cool, but you need a bunch of developers to develop all this stuff, so I don't know. But I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I mean, there's a new Kirby game coming, so I think you also have to factor in the Nintendo Switch 2 editions as games, because some of them are getting new content, so they are new games in a way. But yeah, overall I think it was a good event. I usually don't grade stuff, but I see other people doing it, and I also thought this was a great event. I thought there was stuff for everyone, so I would give this event an A. I thought it was really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from the system. They're doing a Mario Kart Direct. I'm sure they're doing like a Metroid Direct or something. I'm sure there's more Pokemon news coming. Considering Pokemon didn't show that game for a year, I think there's probably going to be a Pokemon Direct, but who knows. So yeah, I mean, that's just some of the stuff I'm thinking about, and I don't know if I have anything else really. So yeah, I mean, that's really about it. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize if you don't like this new format. I'm not going to do this for every video, but it does make it easier to, if I don't have a lot of time, it's easier to do a video like this. And I know they end up being longer, but that just kind of works better for me. If I wrote a script for this probably would be like, 10 minutes or something, or shorter, but I did not do that. I hope to do scripts for some videos and stuff, but I also like doing this. It makes it easier on the editing process as well to just do something like this, because I only have to make a few cuts with this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like my content, be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and like me on Facebook. The links are below. I'm Surmo11. See you next time, and peace out.